One of the biggest lies a lot of working people tell themselves is this: if I can just push through a little longer, eventually I'll be fine. And sometimes that works for a while, until one day it doesn't. So if you've been following this series all month, or maybe some of these conversations have hit a little closer to home than you expected, make sure to like, follow, and share, because it's Labor Lines. Now let's get into it. Over the last few weeks, we've talked about what mental health struggles can look like in the trades, how they build over time, the ways people hide it, and even some of the ways we accidentally make it worse. For this last episode, I want to talk about something different. I want to talk about the fact that a lot of people are carrying way more than they were ever supposed to carry alone. Somewhere along the way, a lot of us got taught that struggling silently was the same thing as being strong, especially in blue-collar work. You learn early to keep moving and working and keep showing up and not to complain or slow everyone else down. And after enough years of that, people stop talking about what they're feeling altogether. Not because they don't feel anything, because they don't think anybody wants to hear it. So people carry the stress, pressure, anxiety, and burnout quietly. And eventually it starts leaking into everything else: your sleep and patience, your relationships and temper, your energy, and even motivation. And half the time, people don't even realize it's happening because everybody around them looks like they're dealing with the same thing too. That's part of why these conversations matter, not because every person in the trades is falling apart, they're not, but because a whole lot of people are exhausted mentally and pretending they're fine because they think that's what they're supposed to do. And honestly, that is a very lonely way to live. The crazy part is most people already have somebody they trust more than they realize. Every job site has it: the two people who talk every morning before work, the person you sit with at lunch every day, the person who notices when you're quieter than you normally are, the coworker you complain to about life and bills, work, relationships, and everything else while pretending it's just normal bitching. But congratulations, that's probably your work best friend. You may not call it emotional support, but if there's one person you vent to every single day, your brain already did the work. And there is nothing weak about that. Human beings are not built to carry everything alone. Not stress or grief or pressure, not the fear or even life. That's true whether you work in an office or 50 feet in the air hanging iron. And one of the worst things this culture ever taught people is that needing support somehow translates to you being weak. Because the truth is, everybody needs support eventually. Everybody. The toughest person on the crew, the loudest, even the person everybody leans on. Sometimes especially those people. And if you don't have somebody in your life you feel comfortable talking to, there are still a lot of places that can help. Because this stuff is real. Mental exhaustion is real. Burnout, depression, anxiety, it is all very real. And pretending it doesn't exist has never made it go away. I think that's one of the biggest things I've realized doing this series. Way more people are carrying this stuff than any of us realized. People who look fine, people still showing up every day, people still smiling and joking and working. You'd never know sometimes. And maybe that's why this conversation matters in the first place. I'm not saying everybody should suddenly start dumping their emotions out on the job site tomorrow. We should not do that. But we should stop feeling ashamed for being human. Because feeling overwhelmed sometimes doesn't make you weak. Feeling mentally exhausted doesn't make you weak. Needing somebody to talk to doesn't make you weak. It makes you normal. And maybe if more people understood that, fewer people would feel like they had to drown quietly just to look tough. So here's the question. Who's that person that you know, no matter what, you could call when things start to get heavy? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and honestly, if somebody came to mind while watching this, maybe go check on them. Also, if you or somebody you know is struggling, call or text 988. That's the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. You don't have to carry this stuff by yourself just because this line of work has taught you you're supposed to. Make sure to stick with me. June is National Safety Month, and I'm going to have something every week focusing on the trades and how we can all make a difference. This is Labor Lines with Alex. As always, my good friends, be safe, be productive, be well.